Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
You know what? From what we are hearing allegedly, it's looking like Dr. Lizzy happens to be one of the greatest challenges that the Oloris are facing, apart from Olori Naomi. And with the look of things, it does seem as if Dr. Elizabeth is actually sincere. Dr. Elizabeth knows exactly what she is doing, and Dr. Elizabeth really wants Ooni Of Ife and Queen Naomi to return back together. I do know that from the very beginning, it was not even easy for anybody to think that that could be true, but with the antecedents, it looks like it is indeed true that Dr. Elizabeth wants Olori Naomi and the Ooni of Ife to return back to the palace together. Now, there has been a very serious basbos between Oloris and Dr. Elizabeth. And Dr. Elizabeth stood still and very strong as she challenged the Oloris. Now, you know what is going on? This thing with the stool of the Ooni of Ife, from what we are hearing, allegedly, as it is rumored, is almost as though Ooni of Ife has no right to make certain decisions on his own because he is a traditional king. And when he makes this decision, you have a lot of people are trying to turn down the decision and make it look as if he has done the worst thing in the world. And first of all, the one thing that we know as Africans is that a man can marry you. When a man marries you, a man prepares a very suitable place for you to stay. Most times with him, when he's, just, of course, a man and a woman. But for polygamous relationships like the one Ooni of Ife has right now, I even see that those in the north, they build different houses and they put all of these women in different places so they can stay on their own and have their peace. You see, Pepe said that everybody better to stay for his own seat, right? And so right now, Ooni is a king, first-class king, who has the right or reserved the right to decide where his wives want to stay. Why it has become a political affair, or why it has become so cumbersome for them to stick to this decision, is what nobody knows. And from what we are hearing, if the information we are getting is the truth, this has become one of the biggest debate and one of the biggest problems that the palace of the Ooni of Ife is facing right now. The reason happens to be because they feel that Ooni is making all of this decision for Olori Naomi, which is the truth, because the man did not hide the time and time again. He has told them how much he loves his wife, and above all, he wants his son, his prince, Tadenikawo, to return back. He wants that boy to grow up under his tutelage, and this is something that he wants so much, and that is exactly what he has been trying to do. So as we are hearing what is going on right now, they said that the wives came for Dr. Elizabeth big time. That there's this, I like to use the word pandemonium in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, as the wives came in their numbers, to rain, insult on Dr. Elizabeth, Dr. Lizzy, okay? The quiet, almost petite one that is in the palace. That was the last one who came into the palace. A lot of people call her the last wife, but obviously she is the second wife, as in the one that followed Miriam, okay? That is Ikpe. So as we are hearing, they said they came and they took on her big time. Why are they taking on her? That lady is so vested with wisdom, okay? God bless that lady with so much wisdom. It's almost as if she was destined to be married into royalty. Now, you know that the traditional people are dragging Kabiesi up and down. That, I have been speaking to a lot of Yoruba people. For some of you who are joining my live, you hear where there is a mommy Abe that says that it would be very, very difficult for me to send those women out of the palace. The reason is that is not a Yoruba tradition. I know that from the very beginning, when I started saying that it would be difficult for me to send these women out of the palace, a lot of you were angry with me. Delaram, where do you stand? Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like that? This is just being objective. You cannot just go and marry people's children and bring them and cluster them together, and all of a sudden you're sending them out. Now, if you talk about people like Ikpe and Bloblo, for all of this alleged information we keep hearing, if all of those information that we keep hearing happens to be the truth, Ooni can stand his grounds and say that, okay, they did this, they did that. How about the ones who have not done anything? People like Dr. Elizabeth, can you just shift them and take them out like that? It's difficult, okay, because Ooni also has a reputation to protect as a king, a father mother of all. So if this kind of situation is brought to him, how is he supposed to treat it? And that means a lot, okay? So going back to what this is, because they kept dragging him, why will he send them out of the palace? And even if he sends them out of the palace, you can see that from like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, where this back and forth movement have been happening, you've seen that the palace is very, very quiet right now. They have not been having events. Like they've been having events, but Kabiesi doesn't seem that interested. They had the independence event that he had to do what he had to do. Then they had another event here 2 days ago where the Sean of Ogbomoso visited. It was a blow that hosted that event with the Ooni of Ife. So now, even if you send the wives out of the palace, what difference does it make if they are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going? They can still do whatever they want to do. That is something that, a lot of people were saying Kabiesi needs to put into consideration, okay? And then again, and so because Kabiesi is still married to these women, you cannot tell them not to enter the palace. Yes, so he cannot, because he is their husband. If you tell them not to enter the palace to see you, where do you want them to see you? Are you people going to be meeting outside, with due respect, especially if you have not divorced them? Because of course he has not divorced them, okay? So where do you want them to meet you? That is the problem. So it was Dr. Elizabeth who suggested to the Ooni of Ife that he should give some restrictions. They should be allowed into the palace of the Ooni of Ife, but they should be restricted into different areas, as in certain areas. And do not forget that Dr. Elizabeth is part of this restriction, okay? And she's saying we should enter into the palace, but we should be restricted into different areas, okay? That way, you can deal with this. Nobody will ask you why you don't want them inside the palace and all of that. And when this suggestion came from Dr. Elizabeth, Ooni of Ife became the happiest man in the world. Ooni of Ife jumped on this suggestion and took the suggestion and was very, very happy. And immediately they implemented the suggestion that Oloris from certain day in this month, I don't know, is it 10th or so? Yes, from the 10th of this month, they will be allowed into the palace. They will do their function normally until the new schedule is out. Now, they said that Oloris will be doing functions from this month to the end of the month. And Dr. Lizzy and Naomi will take over function from July going forward, okay? Now, and this does not mean, because this is where you people used to have a problem with me, because you like it when, I come here and tell you things that, this does not mean that the other Oloris will not be doing. They said that Dr. Elizabeth is right now preparing a new schedule, that Naomi has taken over like the entire schedule. It's like Dr. Elizabeth, let's say that the schedule representation for the Ooni of Ife is almost as if Naomi has 70%, Dr. Elizabeth has 10%, and the remaining 20% goes to the other Oloris, okay? That is exactly how they are preparing it. And so right now, Oloris are allowed to come into the palace and do what they need to do as wives to the Ooni of Ife, but there are restrictions. And I said it was Dr. Elizabeth who came up with that idea of restriction. And this is the reason why Oloris are so upset with Dr. Elizabeth. They came for Dr. Elizabeth, and Dr. Elizabeth gave them a piece of her mind. Dr. Elizabeth dragged them to shred. Dr. Elizabeth told them that this is the worst of all. You cannot continue to do this, no matter who you think you are, and no matter what you think you are. You cannot ruin a man's life the way they are trying to do. This is the story we are hearing. If this story is true, is the truth, this is what we are hearing. It's all alleged, it's all rumored, and I wanted to bring you this. I'm going to bring you more. Happy weekends to you, Dela Wright. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.